What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we are here on Reddit for pretty much a community reaction or community response. So as you guys can see here on the SES Grand Cross Reddit, SockYouTuber put thoughts on YouTubers basically giving up on the game. He put, in my opinion, I think the game has gotten worse throughout the years. The start of 2024 was good, nice content and good characters. Then it went downhill with the OC spam and the content festival releases. Not to mention the constant grinding for Bird Relic and Demon King battle stuff. And then he has the screenshot of like all the YouTubers in their videos pretty much saying that, you know, addressing the drama and like, you know, all the stuff that we did with the past week. But yeah, let's hop in and let's actually talk about this, guys. I'll kind of scroll through and I'll give you guys my opinion on some of these takes here. I've already looked at a little bit of it already, so I'll be completely like from with that. I've seen a few that were just a little like crazy that I wanted to kind of talk about, but mostly for the most part, I think everyone kind of had the same idea in terms of what we, you know, would think would be better for the game. So let's actually scroll through here and kind of read some of these points here. So Cheap Evening put, yeah, I agree with them. Start of 2024 had some good characters, both in power and likability, but then Netmarble said, let's spam the game with OCs instead of the 4 co-ed characters and story. Also, the continuous festivals is just making free-to-play almost impossible to keep up with the whales and the fest banners being so mid. Like, it's not even bad, just mid. If they want to make more consecutive festival banners, give us free-ish banners before, like how they did in the past. Honestly, that's a really good point. I know I made the point in my video where I was like, oh, you know, more free banners needs to be a thing, or like more free characters in general. But yeah, I mean, bro, free banners right before like a festival, like we used to get those. That's crazy, actually. You know, asking for things we used to get, crazy. Okay, so my biggest complaint is what the F is UR? It's a unit that's 900 and not even all of them are, okay, I don't know about this. They are festivals. They are all fests. We get no breaks, then LRs are useful for a minute, then they suck. Some units don't have relics for like older units. Some relics are super useless on certain characters. And like for example, God's Liz relic on Red Liz is useless. A lot of us are quitting because of what we are really doing at this point. I think this is a good point right here though. URs are literally just glorified regular fest, guys. URs are literally nothing crazy. That's the thing, right? There's literally nothing crazy with URs, and all they are is just a regular 900 festival with the UR tag on them, and that's about it. So there really is nothing extra to URs, and honestly, it's just more resources you gotta spend. So yeah, that's a really good point from that guy right there. I love OCs and I know it's not popular, but I do agree that it isn't good having 3 back-to-back and 2 of which being festivals and all 3 buffing Unknown. Like, Unknown is easily my favorite team, but it really just feels like you either use Human, Sins, or Unknown. Everyone else just gets rolled for even daring to try. It wouldn't be as bad if they were actually properly buffed older units to be viable, 100%. And I didn't really mention that in my video talking about buffing older characters necessarily, but yes, buffing older characters, another thing that needs to be addressed in the game. I was literally playing on my stream yesterday on Chaos Battle with with King, with Blue Skinny King from year 1 of the game, and he was actually cooking, but I realized that he would have been a lot better if he had better substats. There's so many things like that, man, where older characters can get buffed in the game. It doesn't even need to be an LR. It could just be like a buff to their stats just in general to make them viable in nowadays meta. Things like that I think is really, really important to mention. Alright guys, so this is a really good one right here. So from Acasio, he says, so I did the math and including the new Jenna, the game has released 11 canon characters this year, including Percival from the 4 Koa since it's a continuation of the main story. And then the number of collab/OCs we received is also 11. That's honestly a crazy statistic right there, bro. The fact that half this year has been OCs versus actual characters from 7 Deadly Sins or 4 Koa is crazy, man. The fact that that's even a thing, guys, I don't even know how that's a thing, honestly. That don't even make sense to me. How is half of our releases in the game, half of our releases in the game are of characters that are not even 7 Deadly Sins characters or just in the show at all? Yeah, so he said, so half the year is stuff not linked to the original story, and that's definitely where a lot of the problems lie. Especially when we've now had 2 back-to-back OC fests, it's creating a lot of frustration with the character selection. Like, Thor did not have to be a UR festival, she could have just been a really strong 600 banner unit like Tyr or even Baldur was. I completely agree with that. It also doesn't help the community, or it doesn't help that continuously increasing the grind needs to be done in the game. Like, I fully essayed my entire box, which I'm only missing 3 non-collab units, and yet there's still Rat Holy Relics, there's DK farming for True Awakening, and now there's Bird farming for upgrading relics. Where the hell does the farming stop? This game can't be a damn full-time job, 100%. I completely agree with that. And then, so I don't blame a lot of people for speaking out now, where the game really feels like it's at its current lowest point. I'm surely getting tired of this BS with the game. I took a break last year and I caught back up, but I'll be damned to continue to try and keep up with the bad stuff they expect you to do. And F, new players now have zero chance to get involved in the game, lol. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all these points, guys, I've already, like, pretty much made the points for in my video. But yeah, I know, like, again, new players struggle. Infinite grind content is just absurd. And yeah, I mean, like, those are just things I think are important to mention. And you know, hopefully the devs actually do address these things. Alright, so we got one of the amazing viewers here. So we got Kira Mira. He said, I haven't watched all the statements, to be honest. I only watched Amazing's one yet. And even though I personally like the OCs, the recent releases were actually too much. We legit got 2 OC fests back to back, which is kind of crazy. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Ragnarok was a mistake by Netmarble, and they should have only focused on Catastrophes. I don't know how to feel about that. I think, honestly, like, I don't think Ragnarok and OC are two separate things that are bad. I actually don't think they're bad, guys. You know, the misconception that I don't like OCs and all that, I don't think that's necessarily a thing that are really, really bad for the game. I think the bad part of what we're getting for these characters is when they're back-to-back, or when they're, you know, 2 months worth of OCs. Like, it just is crazy, man. The amount of OCs we'd be getting, and again, from that statistic we saw earlier where half the year or so far has been 11 collab or OC characters, and then 11 canon characters is crazy to me. Like, that's honestly insane, bro. So yeah, I mean, that's honestly like something that they definitely need to address. Spreading out the OC like time frames for when they release them would be a lot better for the game, in my opinion, and it would also keep things more engaging with the community, because, you know, we want to see more 7 Deadly Sins characters. We want to see more characters from the show, man. Alright, guys, so I found a comment here. I feel like I want to address this, because I think this is kind of targeted towards the YouTubers here, but there's a lot of needs to be fixed, and I sadly think that they're in too deep. The YouTubers are right. And then we have Darkboy here that he says, you know, like a year ago they begged for less dead weeks and banners so the game would be interesting. They are hypocritical. Yeah, so the thing, or hypocritical. So I think the thing is with that, guys, is that the reason why, and it's not even just the YouTubers in general, this is just general players playing the game too, I feel like. I honestly, I think this is for you guys too, but for the YouTubers' perspectives, yes, obviously we want to have, you know, more characters, more banners, but that doesn't mean that we need to make it less free-to-play friendly because we're pushing out all these characters. Again, we've had a lot of things where, you know, there could be free characters that are new and have them release alongside one of these like other banner units, and they could even do like 2-unit banners and then one of them be a free unit in the event. They can do so many things that would allow us to get more new characters and more free characters as well, that I think that this, honestly, like, you know, as a YouTuber, at least in my opinion, I would love to have more content to cover for the game. I mean, that's what I'm here to do, guys. I'm a YouTuber. I'm here to cover content on Grand Cross, and when there's no content, it's kind of tough to, you know, think of ideas. I mean, obviously, the YouTubers all have their different, like, niches for, like, what they cover, and I'm more so, like, a guide, YouTuber in that sense, right? So I'm kind of covering mainly guides. But whenever there's like news or things like that, or just even more exciting things in the game, I'm excited. And I think this was a take that we did have, at least I did, in my Google document, that, you know, I think that there should be not necessarily less dead weeks and more banners for the game, but just, you know, make the updates more exciting in the sense of, you know, adding some free characters, adding some, you know, more gems, adding things like that to give the players into the game a lot more often. Alright, guys, so we got another one here that says, why would I care if YouTubers quit the game? Now, I feel like this, I don't know if this is gonna come off as like a thing of like, you know, maybe I'm like, I don't know, guys. I just don't want to come off as rude here. But what the thing is with YouTubers for your game is it's very, very important to have YouTubers covering your game, because without that, there's no content that a new player watching YouTube can even watch for, right? I think YouTubers are very, very important for the community. We address things, we talk about things. I mean, look at what we're doing right now, guys. Look at what we're doing right now. I mean, the thing is with YouTubers, man, is that we honestly are in a sense the voice of the community, right? We are the ones doing the videos that pretty much like speak for the community in a sense of either a unit showcase, how to beat a content, or, you know, updates on the game that needs to be changed and things like that. If all the YouTubers are gone from Grand Cross, what is that going to mean for the game? It's going to be even worse than it is now. That would mean that a lot less players are even going to be interested in playing the game because there's going to be no content on YouTube for them to watch for the game at the moment. Like, imagine I just stopped uploading. There was no more guide content for me, guys. Then what's going to happen when a new player tries to get into the game and they're trying to get in? They're not going to have any videos to refer to, and then they're just going to quit the game anyway. They're going to be like, oh, this game's dead. No YouTubers are covering the game. And yeah, I mean, like, that's something that I feel like is important. So why should you care about YouTubers? Because it helps keep the game alive in a sense. You know what I mean? It actually does. I definitely do think that YouTubers do keep the game alive and to an extent, man. Not necessarily like the you know, financial aspect of the game, but just getting players into the game. We are literally advertising for the developers, man. So that definitely, I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit of a, you know, a fair take, I would say. But you guys let me know how you guys feel about, you know, YouTubers and covering Grand Cross. Alright, so the next comment here says, not gonna lie, if they don't get their head out of the sand, EOF this OC stuff, then this game will end up like Blazing did real quick. The thing that hurts too is that the new players can't even get into the game because like the amount of grinding and resources you have to do to even do PvP, God forbid demonic beasts and DK, is just insane. OCs are not horrible in my eyes, just completely dumb. There is a reason why they won't try an OC anniversary unit, because they know how hard it would flop and it's dumb, just plain stupidity. Exactly, the devs know. The devs legitimately know, guys. They know if they're gonna do an OC festival, it cannot be a major anniversary celebration, because I'm telling you, if they do, it's gonna be really, really low for their numbers, man. It's gonna tank the numbers. They're not gonna be getting out really well with that. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say with that. But all I will say is that if they ever do an OC Anniversary Fest, I don't know how the people are going to take that. I'll be honest. Like, that'll be a little crazy. So, you know, that's just something so that the devs understand. But I think they know that, you know, Askenor, Melly, you know, King, right? Like, Bond, like, those characters on anniversary releases or big updates are going to carry the update 100%. And they're not going to have Thor from Ragnarok carry an update like that. I'll be honest, man. Alright, another thing here too, guys, is raids are worse than before. I don't think this was the case necessarily, but I do think that raids being increased should be a thing by this point. I mean, guys, we're almost 5, no wait, are we 5? No, we are 5 years into the game on JP. We are 5 years into the game, actually. 5 years into the game, and our raids for festivals or for just banners in general, they've only gone from 3% to 4% for a festival. That's crazy. And that's honestly crazy to me, man. How can it go from, you know, where we start at 3% and we only go up 1%? Like, I get that's kind of a big change from 3%, but guys, it's been 5 years. 5 years on the game and we haven't had no change to, you know, rates in the game or anything like that. I don't know how that would really affect the coin shop, but even then, coin shop's not even updated, man. So, man, there's just so many things like that, guys. I feel like do kind of, you know, need to be addressed as well, just increasing the rates and stuff like that. Alright, so we have another comment here that I think is a pretty good one to mention. So Marv says right here, they were ambitious and had many ideas, but not the resources to pull it off. The main story of the decade, long manga plus OC content plus collaborations plus more OC content is simply too much. And I completely agree with this take. For me, it started with Ragnarok. It didn't feel like a 7S game anymore. More like a mashup game with several characters. That's kind of crazy, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what Grand Cross has actually been as of late. You know what I mean? And I think the problem that really like was the nail in the coffin for them, guys, was when they announced the Catastrophe storyline. If they knew they were gonna do 4 Koa, why did they announce the Catastrophe storyline? Why did they do that? They still knew they had to cover Ragnarok, right? They were coming around the end of 7 Deadly Sins, so they knew they were gonna go into 4 Koa relatively soon. And so they decided to have this, you know, Catastrophe storyline. They leave it for a whole year. We didn't get a single update for it. And we finally get an update a year later. It's like, man, what are they doing, guys? What are they doing? I don't know what they're trying to do really with you know, releasing all these characters and all that, specifically with the OC characters. But again, it's not going to be something that a new player is going to try and play the game for. And because of that, people are not going to be playing the game, especially the newer players getting into the game. Alright guys, so I found a comment here talking a little bit about Origin 2 and how that kind of affects the way Grand Cross is treated right now from the developers. So Historical Tip says the devs are basically trying to kill the game for Origin's release. They keep adding overly pay-to-win concepts like new upgrade systems, no good shops, and overall a demeanor of we want your cash, and that's super true. A lot of the things they've done recently, I mean, look at the chapter skip. They have a chapter skip in the game, guys, but it's you pay for it, right? Like, why do they have that be a thing? Right, they have chapter skip. They have this like new function where in the game right now, I don't have the game open at the moment, guys, but they have this little like thing in Grand Cross right now where you get like 2 frees and then you have to spend and then you get 2 frees again and then you spend and then you get free. It's like, nah, man, we know exactly what they're trying to do with those types of like, you know, monetization practices, and they're just not good. And then he also says they aren't focused on making a good game nor care about making the game better. Everyone is mad and no one at Netmarble is listening to the players. If the game dies in 1 to 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised. At least the time comes I can walk away knowing forever I didn't spend a penny to a team who didn't give a damn and stop caring for the creation, free to play forever. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a really fair point right there. You know, the Netmarble needs to listen to the community, man. They need to address a lot of these things. They need to do a bunch of other updates to the game to make it a lot better again, and things like that would be really good if they were to look at some of our feedback and actually take that feedback and do changes with the game. You know, there's a lot of things they need to do, man, and hopefully those are the things that are done, and you know, actually they do go back to this to the important state of the game stuff. Alright guys, I saw this comment right here, and I feel like this is a little crazy to me because I feel like this is a little disingenuous of what is specifically I was saying about you know, grinding. But Jay the Pizza says grinding being a complaint on a mobile gacha game is crazy. So I don't know what he means by that, if he's saying like, oh, like, you know, that is like a valid take or it's not. But I mean, I'm gonna give my opinion on it. I think grinding being a complaint on a mobile gacha game is not crazy. It's a problem. It is a problem. Like, the fact that we complain about grinding on a mobile game and there's too much grinding is crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. So yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is with specifically with mobile games, they're not meant to be super grindy. I get gacha games are kind of in that grind set, but they're not infinite grind endgame, guys. I addressed this already in my video. Infinite grind endgame is bad. When it's a weekly reset, like endgame type content, then it's not that bad because you have the rest of the week to do it. You're not forced to do it 24/7, and it's something that is like, you know, spread out through time. You're not just doing it all 24/7. So that's pretty much the main difference I would say for this comment specifically. It's like, it depends on the type of grinding. When it's like weekly grind, yes, that's normal, and a gacha game is expected to have weekly grind content or daily grind content, but we're talking about end game and an infinite grind end game, then grinding it specifically for that is crazy, and there's too much. Alright guys, so another comment here we got from Brandt. He says, nah, it isn't Ragnarok that is the problem. It's their random catastrophes added to the mix in such a way that made the older players less interested in the game to start with. No one liked the catastrophes. They wanted 7DS. That was the whole point of the 7DS game. The world of 7DS and even the movie had so many characters that haven't been added here, but they decide to go towards the OC route. Now, I do agree to an extent about that. I did actually like catastrophes on the release when in the first year of Grand Cross because they didn't spam them and they were actually kind of cool and unique. You know, Valenti and Lilia, they each had their point in their meta that they were a part of, and there also were kind of unique characters. You had Valenti being the little like, you know, a nerdy mechanic girl, and then you had Lilia being like the mage apprentice to Merlin. Like, a lot of things were cool in that, you know what I mean, and it wasn't a bad thing. The bad thing about it was that when they started spamming OCs and they started having multiple releases back to back to back, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, when they're spread out like that and they're actually good characters, I don't mind it, right? And bear in mind too that I think they were both step up banners, if I'm not mistaken, right? Lilia was a step up, I know that for a fact. I don't know about Valenti though, I could be wrong. But yeah, regardless. And then they added the whole Ragnarok arc, and suddenly we go months without a new true 7DS unit. True. Catastrophes didn't have an actual plus-size story mode. It was just random seasonal events that new players wouldn't even understand. Like, what was the start? Who are those guys? And why are they in the game of 7DS? That's true. That's true, actually. They should have, if they were going to, like, push this OC thing, they should have did it, like, years ago now. And we would have been done them by now, right? We should have been done them by now if they were going to do that. What is their lore? Where do I find it? None of it was answered. Now we just have the Awakening Catastrophe arc with no past plot. OCs are good when the story from which you're making your game. Then mix it with Ragnarok, and what is even the point? Any player coming to the game for 7DS for the 7 deadly sins. It's in the name, but most of the new content, harder stuff, don't even use them as their focus, and the old units are so trash in stats, there's no point of even trying. Again, man, all points are super valid, and I definitely do agree with the take here. So yeah, guys, I feel like I addressed most of the stuff here that I felt like need to be spoken about in this Reddit post. So I'll link this in the description if you guys do want to read up yourself. Maybe you guys comment on this as well and give your other takes too. But yeah, I mean, guys, I know it's another drama type video. I'm sorry, man, I don't want to have to spam these. But yeah, I mean, you know, content is dry. I mean, I'm going to take advantage of this while I can, you know, why not? But yeah, no, I mean, hopefully the game does turn around for the better. And again, all these videos anyway are meant to be constructive criticism, things that the devs can actually look at, and then from that actually can benefit from and make Grand Cross a lot better. Because right now, you know, it's not even just the YouTubers, it's the community as well, as you guys can see, that do feel this way as well, and they actually do mostly agree with what the YouTubers had to say. So that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video, man. Peace out, and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.